So Miss Florella, she gave us 5 different varieties of seeds, and she gave us evergreen onion tops, which we plant in our garden. You don't do them by seeds, but and she also told us about the things that she knew from her past. One being, of course, the infamous mamu plant, which comes from the prairie mamu and all over around the area, and it has a very important role as a medicinal. If you have a sore throat, you can make a cough syrup. And actually, I believe it was Bill Fontenot who told me that he actually saw his family had a pharmacy in Ville Platte, and that he believed they still had an old bottle of mamu syrup that they used to sell at the pharmacy. And I'm sure there's a lot of stories like that. So these are actually the seeds that Miss Flo gave us. And we're actually going to try to grow some of these out to distribute. Since we've been talking about it, a lot of people have said how they would like a mamu plant in their yard. So that's going to be another one of our goals with the seed bank, is growing these seeds out and multiplying the seeds. And the ultimate goal will be a local food source, of course, which is the most important thing we could do with our seed bank. It wouldn't do any good in the freezer. But we are, like she said, we're having our fundraiser next month. And one of the objects of the fundraiser will be to gather enough money to buy a scientific freezer, which will keep them viable up to 100 years. And right now they're just in my freezer, but I do have a generator if the hurricanes come. So agriculture's place in our culture, it's connected in every walk of life, from medicine, as we showed you, as Miss Ethel May Borg, Sydney's daughter, told us that all the songs that she learned from Sydney, she learned from working in the fields with him. And music, language, it all has to do with agriculture. A lot of music, I'm sure, has been kept alive in the fields and created in the fields. What a better way to get through a long day than, humming a song or singing a song or making up a song. And then, of course, food is part of our culture. And this was just a couple weeks ago. We had a little crawfish boil. And, it doesn't have anything to do with the seeds, but with the sustainability and the diversity that exists around here, agriculturally and culinary. Rice and crawfish are grown together. And I'm not sure if anyone's heard of this, but there's actually a Japanese farmer, I believe he's passed now, but his name was Fukuoka. And he had a book called The One Straw Revolution. And he actually grew crawfish. This was in Japan, saying that with 1 straw of rice, you could take the seeds off of that 1 straw and create enough food to feed the world, because of course seeds multiply. And he grew his rice in paddies with crawfish, with ducks, and he had satsuma orchards all around that he inherited from his grandfather. So all the way in Japan, very similar to what could be here and what is here. Satsumas, crawfish, rice. But to have sustainability, we need diversity. And the Acadiana Seed Bank's goal is to establish a very diverse collection of seeds that we can distribute in a couple different ways to our community, through food, through seeds, through knowledge. And to sustain our culture, diversity is key. And it's just as I'm using culture and agriculture as a symbol, to sustain agriculture, you need diversity. If you have all your eggs in one basket and something happens, you get a bad disease on your crops, the whole thing's gone. So to have a diverse system, you have a much higher chance of surviving, because if one thing goes bad, well, you have many other things to fall back on. You can look at it as financial terms too, which is very important today. diverse investments. You know, if one thing crashes, and if you have everything in there, it's gone. But so you know, to have a diverse model is what we're going to focus on in the future. This year is focused on collecting the seeds. Next year we're going to focus on collecting, but also growing out the seeds and proliferating our seed bank. In speaking of diversity, we have such a diverse group of, or such a diverse background of people here in South Louisiana, from French, Creole, French, Spanish, Italian, African, German, Native American, and all of these cultures have made contributions to agriculture over the years. The okra right here, of course, comes from Africa, and in French is gumbo févi. And of course, everyone always talks about how gumbo is a perfect symbol for Louisiana because you have the French roux, and it's an African word, and you know, all the different ingredients and the bay leaves, and you know, and it's just like our music. You know, you have the German accordion and the Spanish Segura brothers, and the singing a French song with a German polka rhythm with African rhythms, and so gumbo févi and okra is a symbol for the diversity here in South Louisiana, and this is actually Miss Florella's seeds that she had passed to us. So we've gathered 16 seeds to date, and this has been 3 interviews that we've done, and one person we were supposed to interview around Mardi Gras, but it was too busy, so she actually stuck them in the mail and just sent them over. I never even got to her house. But so we've gotten the 5 I told you about with Miss Flo, and we have coton vade, which is a green cotton that I'm sure Miss Yvette knows about, and apparently you have to boil it to get the green out, but we got that from Mr. J.D. Swallow. Miss Rebecca Henry of Opelousas sent us some more mamu seeds and loofah gourds, which are useful for cleaning yourself or dishes, all kind of things once they dry out. Other gourds, which are useful for cups and bowls and all kind of things. Gourds are a very useful plant.